Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Soren Review. And today we're going to be reviewing the very chaotic Indianapolis Grand Prix for the NASCAR Cup Series. This race was, I wouldn't say as chaotic as last year, but definitely on the restarts. The finishes were really interesting. The race overall was pretty good, in my opinion, and we'll talk about all that in a minute and why it raises the question on whether we should continue coming to the road course for Indy or we need, I don't know, maybe well, we'll discuss it. But first off, I want to talk about the winner, Tyler Reddick. He grabs his second win of the season, a very deserving win amidst all the the very chaotic nature of the race. Tyler Reddick, he was able to stay up front for most of the day. He played the right strategy call despite tires not really mattering too much, and he stayed up front, avoided all the chaos. Even towards the end, when Ross Chastain cut at the course, we'll talk about it. And yeah, he did a very great job. Second career win, second two wins for Richard Childress Racing. First time that's happened since 2017. First time a driver for Richard Childress has won multiple races in a season. So a really fantastic job for Tyler Reddick. I want to talk about the top finishers, which will come onto your screen now. And I also want to talk about the nature of the race. There's so much to pack in, despite there only being, I believe, four or five cautions, and two of them only coming out towards the end. I believe there are five cautions. Um, First off, the very first lap of the race was very chaotic. Justin Haley spun out in the first corner. Denny Hamlin spun out. Just super chaotic. The first stage was just a lot of spins. Joey Hand, Chase Elliott, Ross Chastain off track multiple times, Hamlin off track. Towards the end of the stage, Chris Buescher's car caught on fire. He actually stayed in the race, ended up 2 laps down, but came back to finish in the top 10. We'll talk about how he was able to do that. First stage pretty chaotic, but at the same time it was a controlled chaoticness, one of those where it's like, wow, this is an interesting race. And stage 2 was very similar to that. Harvick spun, and he obtained damage, uh, I believe, from Alex Bowman on the restart. Kyle Larson had damage after he had contact with Eric Almirola. That actually, I believe, ended Eric Almirola's day. Both of the Heisberg cars had mechanical issues. Daniel Kiva, who was off the track actually in turn 4 for a majority of stage 2, I believe it was like 5 or so laps. He was parked, stalled the car, and uh, went off course. And then Loris Hezemans had a mechanical failure. Others, Harrison Burton, Cole Custer spun, despite them still finishing in the top 10. But again, stage 2 was that chaotic, controlled chaos that I think NASCAR fans would want to see in a race that's not just single file racing. On top of that, there was a lot of pit strategy. When would drivers pit? Would tires not really being a factor? Could some drivers stay out? And some drivers did that. Christopher Bell played, and some other drivers were playing a different strategy than Tyler Reddick. Ryan Blaney took no tires in the final stage, and it looked like the final stage was going to be pretty calm up until a few up until I'm not sure how many laps left, but Kyle Larson lost his brakes in turn 1, and trying to avoid Ty Dillon, he really couldn't. He was sliding and slammed into Ty Dillon, a hellacious accident in turn 1. Terrible crash for both drivers. Both were okay, luckily, but that brought out our first caution that wasn't for a stage. That kind of restarted us with about 15 to go, if I'm not mistaken. Kevin Harvick, Alex Bowman spun on the following restart. Cole Custer spun again. Um, but again, it looked like Tyler Reddick was going to able to hold off Ryan Blaney, who used that tire strategy from earlier, and hold him off and keep him in the lead until we had another caution with 4 to go. Christopher Bell, a flat tire. Ultimately, that kind of ruined his day. A significant amount of damage for Christopher Bell. Just unfortunate. He was kind of up front. He does actually come back to finish 12th, but a potential chance at a win out of the door for Christopher Bell. Um, but we restart, and I think we've you can already expect what's going to happen. The cars just wreck. Nobody has any respect for each other on these restarts. I believe Joey Logano sent it like 5 wide. Um, had no room for an entrance into one. Took out a ton of cars. Ryan Chase Elliott, William Byron, who were top five, spun out. Ryan Blaney spun out, or my mistakes. Ryan Blaney spun out on the I believe the previous or the next restart, but Eric Jones, Austin Dillon spun. Truex with a flat tire. Just absolute chaos. And this is when the race started to get really just, I guess, infuriating. It was just so hard to watch these guys, who had up to this point really good runs, or we had a good race, just come to an end because some guys just decided to send it 8 wide into turn one. We restarted again. It was absolute chaos. Ryan Blaney spun out from second. Um, but the main controversy, Ross Chastain was going to miss turn one, but he took the access, like a alternate layout, which would served as a penalty for drivers who missed turn one, and gained positions and was right next to Tyler Reddick, trying to battle for the lead. Luckily, Reddick was able to hold him off and grab the win. However, it costed the cars behind Ross Chastain and Reddick a chance to win because Chastain was holding them up from advancing their position. Ultimately, Ross Chastain finished second, but ended up getting a penalty and finished the last of the lead lap cars in 27th. And Austin Dillon also did the same thing as Ross Chastain. He was already a lap down, so he finishes behind the only other lap down car in Joey Hand in 30th place. Ultimately, just super chaotic. I also heard Daniel Suarez spun out because he was the one who forced Blaney off the track. Joey Logano's car had had a fire after the race ended on the car, despite finishing sixth. Just chaotic. It's just so much stuff is going on at this track, but it's not fun in my opinion to watch. It's just, oh, they wrecked again. Oh, they wrecked again. Oh, who's going to send it this time? And I feel that it's just so hard to watch. It's not like a short track or a super speedway. It's just these road courses where people are sending it 8 wide into turn one. It's just not fun to watch. The top 10 very chaotic. Tyler Reddick, Austin Cindric, the top two. They both qualified in the top 10. We're hoping for good days, and they did. They got that. Harrison Burton, Todd Gillen. Todd Gillen actually led some laps, and before the Christopher Bell caution was on track for a top 10. Amazing effort for both of the rookies. Bubba Wallace grabs his first top 5 and top 10 on a road course. Great effort from that team. Joey Logano made a stupid move but still finishes sixth. AJ Allmendinger suffering with heat exhaustion. He finishes seventh. McDowell Cole Custer grabs another top 10. Great run for that 41 team. Chris Buescher, I said he was 2 laps down earlier. He uses those restarts to get himself up to a 10th place finish. Those not recognized, Kyle Busch finishes 11th, kind of a quiet day, and Christopher Bell brought out that caution. He finishes 12th. Chase Elliott, who had spun on the previous caution, regains to 16th. Ty Gibbs, the rookie, 17th. Corey LaJoy also grabs the top 20. Josh Balicki, Cody Ware, Josh Williams, top 25s. Great runs for those guys. Overall, it's just it was a chaotic race, and it begs the question: should NASCAR continue going to the Indy Road Course? And frankly, I think that there is potential, but it's not only going to take these drivers racing with respect, but it's also going to take NASCAR to be more, um, I guess, not more strict with their drivers. They're not being strict. They're not thinking this out. This is the second year in a row that something by design. Last year the curb failed. This year their alternate like turn one, if you missed penalty road, failed. It's just dumb. And I think if NASCAR belongs at Indianapolis, I don't think it doesn't. Um, but I think they either need to run the oval or run both. But if they're gonna run both, they because I don't think NASCAR should just stay on the Indy road course. I don't think that's the solution. I think we need to run two Indy dates, one in the oval, one on the road course, and when we come to the road course, in my opinion, they should run the road course in May for the month of May with IndyCar. That would be really smart. Have them the same weekend as when IndyCar runs the Indy road course. That would be extremely smart to do, and then run the oval in August, but or late July. But overall, it's just needs to be more strict. These drivers need to run with more respect. It's the same. It seems like this becoming every time we go to a track like like the Indy Road Course, and I hope something will be done to not have these just so unpredictable finishes where we have guys who have run top five all day get wrecked because some guy from 20th sends it five wide into turn one. I don't know, but that's my opinion. Let me know what you think in the comments below. But that'll do it for this video. Remember, you can use code Soren72 to get $5 off shipping on Circle B diecast for orders $30 or more. Next gen diecasts are here. They came out a week ago. More are coming in. You need to get them now. They are selling out everywhere. Buy them as soon as they come out, and make sure to use the code checkout. Also, make sure to follow me on Twitter if you want, @ReviewSoren. Thank you so much for watching, everyone, and goodbye.